remote screening.
Definitely.
Okay, I see. Okay, guys, welcome to lesson 21 of digital marketing 3. So already, as you can see, guys, we've done 20 lessons so far. And some arguably can say that we are still in the new year mode, but we've covered a lot so far, and you should be able to relate, all the things that we have discussed in class. Remember, early next month, you are going to submit an assignment. It can be tricky because it will be shortly after Easter holidays. So I highly encourage students to start working on that assignment so that you do not have the pressure of Easter holidays, in completing those assignments. All of a sudden, you've got last minute submissions and stuff like that. Because F1 and F2 assignments, assessments that you guys need to take advantage of. Because I would arguably say that they are always easy in nature because they set the tone for the year, they set the tone for the module. So you guys need to do your best and you need to make sure that you've got enough time in preparation and in completion of the assessments. Good morning, Primonia.
Good morning, sir.
So if you have got any questions, as I've always said, please ask in the WhatsApp group. Yes, you can DM me. That's also good if you send direct messages. But I advise students to ask in the WhatsApp group so that there are no duplicates of questions, because sometimes it can be monotonous to keep responding to the same query. So it's better that if someone asks the question in the WhatsApp group, the answers are vivid to everyone. So I highly encourage students to ask in the group. But if you're not comfortable, if you feel like it is personal, then you can DM me. So I'm not saying that do not DM me at all. I'll respond as soon as I can if you text me directly. And so far, those have texted me directly. I don't think I've taken much time to respond to them, even though we live in a busy life. Okay. Are there any housekeeping issues that you guys would like to discuss before we start today's lesson?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mpo. What about others? Okay, today we continue with the digital marketing fundamentals. If you remember, starting with lesson 9, we looked at the online marketplace, the environment surrounding the online marketplace. So that environment, we categorized it into two: the macro environment and the micro environment. We also discussed that the macro environment is the wider business environment whereby an entity does not have control to it, but it can be significantly affected by the situation in the environment. So here organizations will be looking at ways to adapt or to navigate the wider environment in which it operates. So you actually apply the PESTEL model there, whereby you focus on the political factors, you focus on the legal factors, you focus on the social factors, you focus on the economic factors, you focus on the technological factors, and you focus on the environmental factors. So organizations have no control over these, but they need to find strategies, they need to find ways of how to adapt or to navigate the landscape. So, for example, if it's legal factors, you do not have control over POPI Act, so you need to come up with strategies or with ways in how you can, be compliant to the regulations, or how you can actually make sure that you adapt to the POPI Act, since you cannot control it yourself. So that's the macro environment, and there are questions related to the macro environment in the F1. Then we also had a look at the micro environment, and we discussed that these are the immediate factors of an organization. So they do directly affect its trading environment. So one or the other, they affect the revenue of an organization. So we look at customers. Without customers, how can an organization generate revenue? We look at suppliers. Without suppliers, how can an organization generate revenue? Just think of KFC. Without chicken farmers or potato farmers, how are they going to run the business? So these, the micro factors are those that directly affect the day-to-day operations of any given organization. It doesn't have to be corporates, like organizations that are for profits. It can also be non-profit organizations. So in the micro environment, we look at customers, suppliers, intermediaries, competitors. So we've already done customers. We had a look at the customer journey. We discussed how important customers are to organization. We discussed the digital customer experience. Then we did competitor analysis. We looked at competition. We looked at the rules and the nature of competition. That's what we're doing last week. Then today, we are going to look at intermediaries and the canvas model. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. I think I've given you guys a clear picture of the journey we have traveled so far in terms of in business, in terms of digital marketing environment. So now I want you guys to give us a brief overview of what we did on Tuesday. So help people like Mpo who were not here on Tuesday. Can someone tell Mpo what we did on Tuesday? Humphrey, Matapelo, Gamo, Primonia, you guys were there on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. But on my side, I'm giving Humphrey, Premiumia, and Kamu a chance because last week I'm the one who did the recap.
Yeah, but don't do duties. If you feel like your fires are going, you can go ahead. Gamo is having issues with his mic. Or maybe you guys want me to bring some sweets in class as an incentive for you guys to engage. Remember, at the beginning of the class, I said that engagement is compulsory. There's no way you can be in digital marketing and not engage. Never. How do you develop a strategy without engaging with others? So engagement here is of paramount importance.
I say I can try. Um, on Tuesday, based on my experience with the class, what I recall is talking about, as the slide say, applying competitor benchmarking, and we were looking the kind of differences that each brand brings to its own digital platform towards their customers. What makes them unique? It can be a feature, their appearance, or anything that has to do with their digital environment that they are in, so that it brings the idea of competitiveness amongst other brands. I don't know if I make sense.
Yes, you do. So just to add on what Nkamo has said, on Tuesday, we looked at competitor benchmark. So what are the parameters, or what is it that would qualify a business to say that I'm in competition? Okay, so that's what we looked at. We also looked at competitive advantage. There's a formula for that. It is there in your slides, guys. We also did a case study. We discussed Shein. We looked at Shein and its competitors, such as Temu. We looked at local competition, such as Takealot. What is it that Shein is doing well to have a sort of a competitive advantage? And what is it that it is not doing well? Then we also looked at the in-sector, out-of-sector. We discussed Boston, looking at its competitors like Varsity College, to sort of help you guys synthesize competition. I know that in most cases you'd hear people saying that I'm not in competition with someone else, I will let my boyfriend go. I cannot compete for a man. I cannot compete for a woman, But there are sort of benchmarks that you apply into yourself as individuals, truly speaking. You realize that when someone is cheating, for example, if your partner is cheating, trust me, your frustrations or your reaction is going to be determined by who the person is actually cheating with. So if it is a person who is more beautiful or who has got curves and this and that, that reaction might be determined by that. Is it true, guys, or am I lying?
Yes, sir, it is true.
So you realize that when your partner is cheating or you are suspicious, the first thing that you ask, who are you cheating me with? Is because you want to see whether this person is on my level or not. If you realize that this person is above my level, you can complain, still be angry. If you realize that this person is not on your level, you would still complain because cheating is cheating. But that is a benchmark of saying that, oh, how come you're cheating me with someone who is this ugly? Oh, okay, you are after hot people. So you can actually benchmark yourself based on the person your partner would be cheating with. And it's not only cheating, guys. Even in families, there is competition. Though you would not officially say that you are competing. You guys compete with your sisters, with your brothers. You won't even see that. At church, in life itself, guys, we survive for competition. It's the same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, as I said. They did not sit down and say that we are now going to compete. It is what they do that makes it clearly look like that they are competing. Be it Coca-Cola, be it Pepsi, they are known as rivalries, not because they've told each other that we are going to be competing. It's because they operate in the same sector. Most of you guys would want to pursue the career in being influencers, social media influencers, having a certain number of followership, being on TikTok, on Instagram, on this and that, Yes, you're competing with others who are operating in your space, as long as you are not making that competition get ugly, because sometimes competition can be ugly. It can be really ugly, as we see in Jolo. All of a sudden, witchcraft is involved. All of a sudden, crime is involved. You end up attacking your competitor or killing your competitor because you can actually feel the competition hit. Crimonia, is that true?
Yes, sir, it's true.
Are you threatened by other women?
Yes, I am.
Paul, can you be threatened by other women?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay, we'll get to that. We will get to that. Even if you are single, by the way, you can be threatened by another woman. Because, their organization, remember, guys, who are operating on their own in the industry. Like they don't have direct competitors, but still, they can be felt threatened. Do you know that?
Yes.
Let me actually look at the competitor at a brand that is no much competition. If I come across it, guys, yeah. For example, we always thought that Eskom does not have competition, right?
Yes.
And it used to have that monopoly. What is happening now? All of a sudden, competition is emerging from nowhere. People are now having generators and stuff like that. Can you see what I'm talking about, guys?
Yes.
So those things do happen. All right. Today, so we are done with customers. We are done with competitors. Now we are going to be looking at intermediaries. That's what we are going to be focusing on in this lesson. So at the end of this lesson, you guys need to be able to review the importance of different players in the microenvironment by examining intermediaries and the canvas business model. So these are the terms that you are going to come across as this lesson progresses. You are going to come across the concept of a channel, the concept of disintermediation, the concept of reintermediation, the concept of customer engagement, and the concept of interruption marketing. Okay. Which of these concepts do you feel like they are very new to you? It is the first time you're hearing about them, or you have heard about them, but you would struggle to describe them.
We're all familiar with them, I think.
Okay. Now, guys, Zimpo is your spokesperson. She's saying we are all familiar. She's speaking on your behalf.
Yes, we did
So
this
I'll
last
take
year.
it as it is.
We
Pardon?
did, we did this last year.
Okay. All right. Okay, I hear you. So, guys, you agree with Zimpo?
Hey, Sam, I speak for myself. This intermediation and reintermediation, and then the concept around, I see the definition, but the concept around interruption marketing, that's what I'm so confused with.
Okay, you are going to unpack that. So don't you have to worry.
So on my behalf, I'm also speaking for myself. I agree with Kamu, and again, yes, Mpo is saying that we did it last year, but last year we didn't go deeper to it. It was just a highlight, and it was based on, I think it was on somewhere like highlighting like something that was passing. It was not that deep. It didn't give us this deep concept or understanding.
So now you want to go deeper. Go deeper, Papa. Go deeper.
Please.
Don't say you need to go deeper on this case.
Oh, now Mpo and Matapel is thinking about the other deeper that we don't know.
No.
Matapel, why are you laughing? You do not want us to go
Nothing.
deeper. You guys, Nkamo, do you want us to go deeper?
He said, "Don't angifaki mina
Deeper
angizingeni,
inside. Okay, we will go deeper,
angizingeni."
guys.
No puns
Trust
intended.
me. Pardon?
No puns intended, sir.
All right. By the way, Primonia and Matape and Mpo, you guys didn't tell me about your age. The day you come to class, you tell me about your age.
My age.
Mm-hmm.
I did, sir.
Really?
Yes, I said I'm 21.
No way. Can't remember.
Yes, you just can't remember. You forgot.
It's always easy. It's always easy, to remember talkative people, not in a bad way.
I'm not talkative.
No, when I say talkative, on Tuesday, Matapero took it an offense, and she doesn't want to engage more, more like she used to. When I say talkative, guys, I'm not saying that I've got too much yep. I'm saying that you are more engaging. So I'm sort of like complimenting you. Okay, it's a compliment. So take it positively.
Okay, and in my case, I didn't take it like that. I was like, maybe I'm powering other kids. Maybe that's what you're trying to say. So hence I was literally kind of like quiet today. But I wanted to say what we talked about because I wanted to do even the recap because Gamu didn't I wanted to add on what Gamu was saying. That we also did the calculations of how to calculate them conditionally of the thing. What is it? I even forgot about it. I'll go back to my book and where to get it on page 72 to 73. I was about to emphasize that for Mpo since she was not in class.
Okay,
But I thought
I
I was
do hear you.
overpowering. And when it comes to my age, sir, I'm very old, sir. Just know I'm old. That's all. And tomorrow is my birthday. That's all.
So what's the average age at Setlasini, then?
It should be
Oh,
21.
I'm taking
Yeah.
average age of what?
All the third years, like the ones that I taught last year and the year before, the average was 21.
But say some of us are return students. We are doing our second degree. So me now I'm 29.
There's no way.
I'm 29.
No way.
Okay, I'll show you when we get in class my ID or my license, either way. But I'm 29.
Not a cooked one from Ghana, right?
No, not the cooked one, sir. I'm
Mm.
29, sir. I know I don't look like 21. They once told me at work where I used to work. I know, sir.
Okay. But remember, guys, age has nothing to do with this because in my part-time class, there's someone that I lecture who's actually 54 in this digital marketing 3 class. So yeah. All right. You don't have to feel as if you are overpowering others, Matapelo. The more you contribute, the more you sharpen your knowledge. The more you talk about something, the more it resonates more with you. So that's why I encourage students to speak. I know we've got different personalities, we've got different traits, and different characters. So it doesn't mean that those who are silent are not doing well. Sometimes you can have someone who's not engaging at all in class, but they get their 90s. However, that is not going to happen in this class because 2 of your assignments are written work and the other 2 are based on what you say. So one or the other, if you want to pass, you need to balance. You need to make sure that you can up your speech and your engagement, and you also need to make sure that you can up your writing. Siyezwana.
Yes, sir.
KB, you have been very scarce. What
Yes, sir.
happened? Karabo.
Yeah.
I think you attended my class once, like the first week. Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm working back to back. I'm also working.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So before I ask you guys what an intermediary is, which is going to lead us to the description of those terms that you said I must go deeper. Re-intermediation and disintermediation. Let's have a discussion on this. In which industries have you seen intermediaries occurring? For now, take guesses, guys. Then we'll see whether you're on the right direction or not, because you're going to unpack these concepts one or the other.
The retailers, for instance, the retail industry, rather, for instance, whereby
Retail industry?
Okay, yeah, just that. So,
Okay, that's correct.
Yes, and real estate or finance.
Real estate, finance, okay. What else, guys?
I'm not sure about logistics, but
Okay, let's put it there. We'll discuss it. No answer
record label.
is incorrect, guys. It all has to do with the application of the theory. Okay, so we can always discuss whether this application suits the scenario that you're bringing in or not. So there's no wrong answer. Nkamo, you're saying something?
I just wanted to add record labels.
Record labels, okay. I'm not familiar with that industry, but we get to that.
And also, sir, does insurance fall under finance or it's on its own?
It does. It does.
Oh.
Mhm. Okay, so based on what you guys have mentioned so far, it means that you know or you have got an idea of what an intermediary is. So, what is an intermediary?
An intermediary is a business that acts as a link
Mhm.
to other businesses, like maybe like a middle person.
Okay, that's true. KB, do you have a middle person in Jolo?
Pardon?
Do you have a middle person in Jolo?
uh, no, no, it depends.
So you do direct business.
Yes.
It seems Mpo has got something to say. Let's
No,
hear you, Mpo.
I don't. I'm just laughing.
Okay, but guys, have you seen intermediaries in Jolo?
Yes.
Is it always successful? Because if it's successful in Jolo, it means that it can be successful in business, or it differs.
I think it differs.
Okay, we'll get to that. All right. So yes, guys, an intermediary is a third party that offers intermediation services between two parties, which involves conveying messages between principals in a dispute, preventing direct contact, as well as potential escalation of the issue. So a marketing channel consists of the people, organizations, and activities necessary to transfer the ownership of product from the point of production to the point of consumption. So that bridge between production and consumption, it is the way products get to the end user, the consumer, and is also known as a distribution channel. So in marketing or even in commerce, when you are talking about intermediaries, you're talking about a distribution channel. You'd realize that there are brands. In many cases, they do not distribute their own products directly to the end user, which is the consumers. For example, your Cadbury chocolate. It's rare to find a shop that is written Cadbury where you can go and buy Cadbury chocolates directly. You'll find those chocolates at Pick and Pay. You'd find those chocolates at Woolies, those chocolates at Checkers, and so forth. So they do not have their own distribution center. They are using the retailers as a distribution channel, your Coca-Cola and stuff like that. Okay. A communication channel is a medium through which one can send a message to the intended audience. The configuration of partners in a distinct channel. Therefore, disintermediation or reintegration of channel can occur due to opportunities afforded by the digital channels. We are going to discuss that. Disintermediation is the removal of intermediaries such as distributors or brokers that formerly linked a brand to its customers. So it's sort of like bypassing some of the channel partners. We have seen that with many brands that instead of using um, their distributing partners, they are sort of like withdrawing and having um, their own distribution centers. I'll give you an example of Converse. Uh, you can buy Converse All Star at Total Sports, at Studio 88, at all these shops that you guys are familiar with. But all of a sudden, Converse is also now having its own shop where they sell their Converse products. Isn't it so?
Yes, sir.
Mm. There are actually many who are doing that. So you
Say,
don't
can I ask
just.
something?
Mhm. Yes,
Can
Matapelo.
I ask? So say when sorry, I wanted to ask this actually when you continue our reading. That mean that Checkers and our Woolies and our shop, right? They are also under intermediation.
Yes, they are.
Okay, sir.
Yes, wholesalers, most wholesalers are intermediaries. That's why Nkamo mentioned retailers. I think that's what he was trying to say. Isn't it so, Nkamo?
Yeah, and
Mm.
that's just one factor of it. There's a lot of ways they can act as intermediaries.
And there are also risks, associated with that. If you think of clicks and that racism uproar that emerged after an advert emerged saying that black women, hey, this and that. You remember it, right?
Yes.
It wasn't a Clicks brand. Do you know that? It was Clicks was acting as an intermediary. Do you guys know that?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So those are some of the risks that we are going to discuss. Like if there is a reputation damage or if there is a crisis communication, what is going to happen? The same thing with Mjolo. If you're using an intermediary and all of a sudden the intermediary is now being chowed, what do you do? Paul, what do you do? Because that can happen. That can happen. You know that.
Yes.
Chowing has got no boundaries. So asas.
Sense.
Pardon?
Sense.
Sir, can I ask something that's out of this, but yes, no, sir, I'm
Yes,
asking.
yes,
Like,
yes.
I want to understand this in my own understanding level. Does that mean
Mhm.
that when, for example, if let's say check, as we saying, checkers is our intermediate, if Albania is doing bad and all, that does bring down checkers, or it only brings down Albania,
If
the image.
checkers are directly involved, both of them can go down. For example, you
Let's
find
use the clicks.
this
Let's use the clicks accident that happened about the hair thing and
yes,
everything. Does that bring clicks image down, or it bringing the product image down?
it brings both of them. Remember, AFF went to clicks. They didn't go to that brand because sometimes the
Yes.
brand won't even be present in the country.
Yes, sir.
So you
Because
go to the
yes, it's not inside.
distributor.
It's not a South African brand.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you see how clicks was targeted as a result of that. So it's the same. Let's go
Oh,
back to the Albany brand that you mentioned. Let's say
okay.
you go to Checkers right now. You're going to buy bread. You find a
Yes, sir.
cockroach. You find a cockroach inside uh, an Albany bread. It is inside an Albany brand. So do you think Checkers is going to be exonerated from that because it's not the brand?
At this moment, I think both, because it
Hmm.
might be Alban's problem, but yet again, it might be Checker's problem, because it might be Checker's hygiene. It's not good. It might be it came like that.
Yes. You see? That's why I keep coming to Jolo so that you guys can understand, because I know where emotions are involved, you guys can understand better. Unless
Okay,
unless
sir.
if you have never been affected by Mjolo at all.
Sir, which is not affecting us, but yet
Hmm.
we in digital marketing. Yes, sir.
Imagine at 21 already being affected with Mjolo. Ivan. At least Matapelo, I can understand. You said you are 29, so maybe experience will tell that, yeah, these other ones, they shouldn't have any Mjolo problems here. Okay. Then we've got the process of re-intermediation. So this is the creation of new intermediaries between customers and suppliers, providing services such as supplier search and product evaluation. That is happening frequently online. Remember, guys, we discussed the partnership between Pick and Pay and Zando. Do you remember?
Yebo.
Some of you guys have got short memory. Eh? So it also occurs because consumers require assistance in the selection of products. So this is what happened. This is how de-intermediation occurs. As you can see on this diagram, I think I'm convinced and I believe that it is in your text. So traditionally, this is how intermediation occurs. So on option A, you have got a producer. That producer goes to the wholesaler. The wholesaler distributes to the retailer. then all of a sudden it gets to a consumer. Okay, then you decide, no man, as a result of the costs involved or the logistics, or the time frame. Remember, we've got time to market on the formula for competitive advantage. So be like, no, let's take out the wholesaler out of the equation. So you skip the wholesaler and you go directly to the retailer and to the consumer. Or you feel like, no man, when I'm as a producer, when I'm producing these products, there are a lot of cuts, that are taken away by the wholesaler and the retailer. Why can't I just eliminate them and go directly to consumers so that I can make better profits? So that you see there, you get rid of the wholesaler and the retailer and you sell directly. That's what is happening with most of the brands and the shops that you are seeing at the malls. The Lindt chocolate, nowadays they've got their own shops. I've seen plenty at the malls, but before I could not see a Lindt chocolate being sold directly. I don't know if you guys come across brands that are bypassing the wholesaler and the retailer and selling directly to the customers. Which brands are those that you have come across?
Directly to customers.
Yes. We used to we used to use intermediaries.
Nike.
Yes, that's correct.
Mm.
There's Nike, all these sports brand, Adidas, Puma, they are also having their own shops.
Yes, and car brands.
And car brands, yes. Even some of the coffee brands, I've seen some as well who are selling directly to customers. But you can also, there's this trend that I've picked up, that some have got specific products that they are selling through intermediaries. For example, with Converse, there are specific products that they can release through wholesalers and retailers. Then there are other specific products that they are clinging to themselves that you can't get at intermediaries. You have to get directly from them.
That's true, sir, because it goes back to all convent. There are so many shoes that has convent has produced, but when you go to Total Sports, you don't find them unless you go to their specific shops.
That's true. So that also happens. Then we can also have a look at re-intermediation, especially as a result of the rapid popularity of digital marketing. You're saying something, Matapelo?
Yes, sir. I wanna ask. So when let's say I'm an owner of Nike. When I'm an owner of Nike, I'm taking my Nike to Sports Cinesa. Do I still have a lot of competition benchmark when it comes to me handing it over to someone else to sell it for me, unlike me trying to get the sellers myself?
Yes, you still have a competitive benchmark
Is it that
because,
much?
yes, remember, competition, when we looked at it on Tuesday, it was based on consumption. Remember the bargaining power of buyers.
Yes, sir.
So how many at sports scene are buying Nike versus how many at sports scene are buying Adidas? It becomes competition on its own.
Oh, okay, sir.
Because at sports scene, they are not only selling Nike, they are also selling competitor products, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Okay,
The same
it
thing
makes
with
sense.
chocolates, If you
Yes,
go to
sir.
Pick and Pay, if you go to Checkers, you are not only going to find Cadbury chocolates there. There are also other brands that are selling chocolates there. So the use of intermediaries, does not bypass competition. So you can also do re-intermediation. As you can see on scenario company A versus customer, there's an intermediary. So you can either put disintermediation there, or you can put an intermediary at the center there, as shown on C. However, you don't just decide that you are going to disengage an intermediary. You do not just decide that you are going to re-engage an intermediary. Why? Remember, guys, we spoke about the 3 types of digital media. Do you remember them? What are those?
Sir, can you please repeat your question?
Do you remember the 3 types of digital media? Hey, Vanda. All of a sudden, people are running to their notes. We spoke about owned media, we spoke about earned media, and we spoke about paid media. Do you remember those guys? And owned and paid. So here the application is almost the same. When is it that you can use paid media? And when is it that you can use owned media? And when is it that you can use earned media? It is the same with intermediaries, okay? For example, if you want to sell directly to your customers, which is disintermediation, are you going to accumulate as many customers as possible?
No.
No,
No.
right? Because think of Checkers, think of Pick and Pay. How many stores are there just in Johannesburg? So it means using an intermediary, especially when you are looking at the retail sector, is going to expose you to the customer base of that intermediary. So if you take your products to Checkers, it means that your product can reach as many Checkers customers as possible, especially if you have got very few customers. Am I making
Yes,
any sense, guys?
you are making sense, sir. Plus, when you do intermedia, I believe that they even give you more exposure, because now, for example, when they have a new product at Checkers, they'll have a corner and they'll want you to test it or give you a sample of it before you wanna have a guarantee that you're buying it.
So what I'm trying to say is that there are advantages and there are disadvantages of using intermediaries, and we are going to discuss those. The same way you would use a middleman in Mjolo. There are advantages, plenty, but there are also disastrous disadvantages. So organization, brands, they need to come up with good strategies. You don't just wake up and say that tomorrow we are no longer going to be using Pick and Pay. You want to sell directly. If you say you want to sell directly, have you accumulated like a wider customer base to sell to? Because sometimes you cannot be known as a brand without an intermediary. You can't. For you to be known, there has to be an intermediary attached to you. In the same way with Mjolo, some of you are known because of your male besties you have connected with someone. Do you see where it's now going, Paul?
Yes, sir.
And we are going to discuss that when you look at the long tail model of marketing, how all of a sudden someone can become popular because of their affiliation with someone else. So some of the brands, if you take away the intermediary, they lose popularity. That's what I'm trying to say. And that can affect the race model that you apply on the customer life cycle. It can affect their reach, it can affect their conversion rates, and it can affect customer retention and certification, even if there's nothing wrong to do with the product. Okay, any questions so far, guys? On intermediaries?
No.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir. For me, it makes sense.
Is it as clear as saying 1 + 1 = 2?
Able.
Okay, that's perfect. Now we move on to the Canvas business model. I don't know if you learned this in your second year. Is it your first time coming across this model?
Yes, so we didn't do this. Yeah.
Or you guys can't just remember?
I don't think we did. I don't
Or
know.
maybe you're not
We
in class.
guys for our assignment, but it wasn't in our textbook. Remember, Sarah was sending it us through WhatsApp. That app, that thing book or that PDF that we need to go through. It was in our assignment
When? Last year.
last year, but it was never in our textbook. Same as the race. Race was never in our textbook, but
Yeah.
we did it in an assignment.
I know Matape is just a way of wanting us to go deeper, right?
No,
Yeah.
sir, we did it. I'm telling you, sir. We're not going deeper. We did it.
Okay.
The thing is, I still remember it.
All right. Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah, we are going to do the Canvas model. And I think it is in your textbook, since you say that it was not in your second year textbook. So the Canvas business model is a strategic management template used for developing new business models and documenting the existing ones. Guys, do you remember the business models that we discussed, the online business models that we discussed at the beginning of the semester?
Yes.
Let's hear them.
E-commerce, subscription, something.
Matapelo. Oh, Mpo.
Yes.
As it's not me, it's Mpo.
Yes.
Mpo.
Subscription, something.
You started well. The moment you start saying something, I can hear that you're now going off-road.
Oh, it's subscription business model.
So we've got B2B, B2C. You remember now?
Business to government.
Yes. So those are the business models that we'll be talking about. So that's why I want you guys to engage and participate, so that we can be able to correct each other and stuff like that. Because sometimes if you don't talk, you think you know something, yet it's something else. So I highly applaud those who participate.
So I have a question, Ne. Isn't the B2B, B2C thing is under e-commerce and not necessarily a business model on its own?
It is a business model on its own because it is not only used by e-commerce.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are you answered, Ne?
I think so.
What does Ne mean, guys? I always hear that.
It means a lot of things.
Things. It's a lot.
Depends on the
We
question.
need
Such as?
Like Ne, like do you agree? Or Ne, like
Okay. Is it one language or it's across all South African languages?
it's slang, it's South African slang.
So it's not in Pedi, it's not in Tswana.
No, it's just a South African slang that you can use it to any language that you say, like you're speaking.
Okay. Guys, please don't put Ne in the assignment. I'm going to fail you, okay? You can use it now, but if I sit in the assignment, you are going to be penalized. All right. Ne? The Canvas business model offers a visual chart, and you are going to have a look at the chart with elements describing a firm's product or services or even value proposition. We spoke about value proposition, I remember. The infrastructure, the customers, and the finances, assisting businesses to align their activities by illustrating the potential trade-offs. So the Canvas model can be applied on a large surface so that groups of people can jointly start sketching and discussing business models, elements with post-it notes or board markers. It is a hands-on tool that fosters understanding, discussion, creativity, as well as analysis. So this is just what I would call a blueprint. You know, it is a blueprint on how your business must operate. So most of you guys wants to be entrepreneurs, you know, business owners from acres. You want to be influencers, you want to be DJs, you want to be photographers, you want to be dancers. You know, you can apply the Canvas business model. We'll still go there. So on the Canvas business model, which is a template, by the way, these are the aspects that you're going to find there. So the following elements provide an overview of the main business drivers. So if you are to start a crash, or if you want to gain more activities on Instagram and you want to actually generate income from it, you need to understand these elements. I think there are 7. You need to understand customer segments. You need to understand the value propositions. You need to understand the channels. You need to understand customer relationships. You need to understand revenue streams. You need to understand key activities, key resources, key partnerships, and cost structure. Okay. So on the
So,
customer
sir, I have a question.
yes, Mr. Rade.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you are tasked as a digital marketer, you just signed in for a new gig in a new company, and now they want to switch into the digital space. Is it
Mhm.
your responsibility for you to do research, or will
Mhm.
they also give you resources for you to go through? My point is, will you be able to gain access to certain confidential and non-confidential
Yeah.
information about the company, you know, stuff like that? Or in some instances they are restrictive and won't allow you and just allow you to do your own research and stuff like that.
Yes. So in most cases, not in most cases anyway, there's no way you can develop a strategy without being informed yourself as a strategist. So you need to do research. Okay. You are the one who is supposed to do research. You need to understand the business environment, the business landscape. What is it that is happening? And as a result, you have to have access to information. So yes, you need access to information, and that information is regulated. It is highly regulated, especially if it's company confidential information. So you realize that you can even end up signing the NDAs, you know, the non-disclosure thing.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes. So realize that there are questions that you need to ask yourself. When you are talking about customer segments, you need to ask yourself, of course, you also need to answer yourself. Who are the customers? What do they think? What do they see? What do they feel? And what is it that they do? That's why customer insights are relevant in digital marketing. Customer insights must inform the strategy. Okay. Then you move on to value proposition. You need to ask yourself, what is the compelling about what's compelling about the proposition? Why do customers buy? Why do customers use? For example, if it's a car, why do customers buy cars? Why would someone buy Ikusheshe or Ivrupa? You need to do research, and your findings will tell you why people do that. Okay. Generally, we know that a person buy a car so that they move from point A to point B. But there are also other factors, you know. A car in Black communities, a car is associated with status, you know that. The same way when we were growing up, you know, a TV was associated with family status, even if you don't watch that TV, but because you've got a TV in the house, it says a lot about you as a family. Am I right?
I mean, we grew up in different neighborhoods.
Having a telephone line, things like that. So it just, yeah, that's true, KB. You know, oh, your mic is on.
Yes, sir, it was a mistake.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say something.
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing with channels. How are these propositions going to be promoted? How are they going to be sold? And how are they going to be delivered? And why? Is it working? Then customer relationships, how do you interact with the customers through their journey? We spoke about customer journey. Revenue stream, how does the business earn revenue from the value propositions? Key activities, what unique strategic things does the business do to deliver its proposition? Key resources, what unique strategic assets must the business have to compete? For example, if you are a photographer, you need to think about the resources that you have. For example, do you have high-end cameras? What other resources do you have? Because those are going to affect the way you do your business. You need a car to go from point A to point B in order to compete. Then key partnership, what can the company not do so it can focus on its key activities? Like, do you need to outsource services? For example, if there's some elements of IT that needs to be done, can you do it in-house or you need to look for an IT company with better skills? Then cost structure, what are the business major cost drivers? How are they linked to revenue? So the money that you are putting in, how is it linked to the money that you are generating? So as I said, the Canvas business model is actually a blueprint of the entire business, how the business operates, okay? And you need to use the Canvas model to understand it as a business, as a digital marketer, because this is going to inform your strategic planning. This is going to inform the way you communicate with consumers. This is going to inform the way you select digital platforms. This is going to inform how you interact with your customers. And this is going to inform the budget that you use, the marketing budget that you use on campaigns and so on.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it possible? Is it possible? So wait, let me recheck. Judging from what you are saying now,
Mm-hmm.
judging from what you are saying now, it gives an impression that it's impossible for one who is starting a business like now to go right away and go digitally. He or she needs to go offline first before you can go digitally, because there's certain elements that I feel like you can't answer based on the Canvas business model. I might be wrong, I might be right, but like for instance, key resources, for instance, key partners, you're starting off right away. So how can you provide such elements whilst you are new in the game? Or am I talking nonsense here?
If I say, what is going to happen if I say you are talking nonsense?
I mean, like, it's just a thought. It's an opinion, yabo. So I can easily throw that away and just take it
Yeah,
in,
but
yabo.
the way you are putting it, that you are talking nonsense, yourself saying that, imagine me telling you that you are talking nonsense. I don't think you would engage any further if I say that.
No, man, I'm more casual, so I take it as it is. That's the thing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Nkamo, you are talking nonsense here.
No, I
I'm
disagree.
joking.
He's not, because
I'm
what he was
joking.
saying, I was also into it.
All right. As you're saying it, Nkamo, I'm just trying to understand, what do you mean by being offline and what do you mean by being online? So as you're saying that, I was also looking at all those elements that are there, But remember, there are businesses that purely operate online. We discussed that at the beginning. For example, MailChimp. MailChimp operates online. There are many businesses, guys, that operate online, and they use the Canvas business model. Of course, with key resources, maybe you go to the bank to apply for funding, but the business operations themselves will be online. Take a lot. It didn't have to start offline. We didn't hear anything about physical or take a lot shops, right? Started online. Or you come across some articles saying that it started from the garage in Cape Town, stuff like that. But people were transacting online. So it's an e-commerce. It was never a physical commerce. Yes, Impo, your hand is up.
So I have a question. So is the Canvas business model mainly for online businesses, or it also accommodates
All businesses.
Oh, okay.
All businesses.
So where can I find the Canvas business model in the textbook?
Page.
Guys, you want me to tell you page numbers? Means that it not have a relationship with your textbook.
I think, isn't it on page 70?
Wait.
On
KB, when did you last study? It means that you're not studying if you ask me a page number.
I last studied.
My daughter. Okay, others are going to tell you what the page number is, but by now, guys, you need time to study. What do you do at home, guys? You are studying. You need to have time to.
This thing is not like.
Okay. All right, I hear you guys. So yes, it can be for any business. Remember, there are so many elements to consider for businesses, guys. There's no one size fits all. Okay, but there are elements here that you can apply at any given business. It doesn't mean that it's going to work at all the time. This is just a theory.
So, sir, would you say for this theory or this Canvas business model to be applied, let's say for a new organization that wants to launch, this process should be prior to its opening day or launch or its public opening to its audience and all of that? Or yeah, that's my question. Let me just
it seems Nkamo wants to start a business. Anyway, Nkamo,
but he's also helping us because the question that he's asking, the question that we were, the first question, the way he put his first question, I felt like that was I wanted to ask. So in a kind of way, he's kind of like helping us, opening us like our eyes. I don't know if I make sense.
All right. Okay, guys. This is a sort of a template. I think it said at the beginning that it's a template. Can you see that? It's a template. So it's a sort of a plan. It's a sort of a plan. When you are building a house, you need a plan. So it's a sort of a blueprint, right? It is used before you build the house, but it is also used throughout, even if the house has been bought, because sometimes it has been built. Sometimes you can need a plan to extend the house. If you get what I mean, or to renovate the house, we still need the plan. So it's something that you can consistently have a look at. Doesn't matter whether you are building from scratch as a business. Remember we spoke about the ends of grid. You can want to diversify. You can want to penetrate new markets. You can want to develop markets. You can still use the Canvas model. So it doesn't matter at which stage a business is, be it a new business or an old business. BlackBerry can come back wanting to reinvent itself. Then all of a sudden it uses the Canvas business model. There are just some crucial questions that you need to ask yourself. For example, the customer segments. You are not going to target all the customers. You need to ask yourself, through a buyer persona, by the way, who is your ideal customer? Okay. The same way with resources that are needed, the digital communication tools that are going to use, the revenue streams, because as a business, you still need to have some revenues to keep the company going and to also generate some profit, the key activities. So it's sort of like a checklist, if I put it that way. It's a checklist. That is not a once-off thing. It is an ongoing thing that you need to to keep asking yourself as the business progresses. Are you answered, Nkamo?
Definitely. Thank you, sir.
Mm. So realize that more homework is done here in terms of research, because these come in a form of questions, and those questions has to be answered. But it can be a problem if you can't find any answers. All right. So under key partners, that's what you look at there. Under key activities, that's what you look at there. Can you see, guys, the screen? I'm not going to explain this because I realize that you guys are not studying, you're not reading your textbooks. So I can't be spoon feeding you. You need to do this on your own. You need to give yourself time to study. Okay, under value propositions, that's what you come across. Under customer relationships, that's what you come across. Under segments, that's what you come across, and so on. You can apply this. I think we're going to do a case study and try to apply this, because you can apply this at any given scenario. Okay. And can someone confirm if this image is in the textbook?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, perfect. So, are there any questions?
No, sir. No questions.
Abanye lithini? Primonia, today you are very, very silent. I hope you didn't just log in, join the meeting, and then disappeared. All of a sudden, you are talking to a device. Yes, I see your mic is on. Pardon?
I don't have a question, sir.
At least you are there. Okay, Humphrey?
Say,
By the way, what's your name on WhatsApp?
Humphrey.
No, the other one that you know. I'm actually
Don't check up
going.
on me.
Yes, don't check up
Oh,
on me. I'm good. Don't check up on me. I'm good. Okay, I won't check up on you, Humphrey, because I know that you are good. Okay, guys, I hope you understood the intermediaries and the Canvas business model, because that's what we discussed in this lesson. So in conclusion, marketing intermediaries are companies that can help a brand to promote, sell, and distribute its products. That's what we discussed, guys. Isn't it so?
Yes.
Remember, the
Yes, sir.
definition of digital marketing is that digital marketing is the promotion of a brand and its products or services on digital platforms. So the use of intermediaries, it's actually directly linked with digital marketing itself. In the internet context, digital marketing intermediaries can be constructed with destination sites, which are typically merchant sites owned by manufacturers or retailers that offer information, products. In reality, any type of site can be a destination site, but the term is generally used to refer to merchant and brand sites. Guys, do you know Hippo?
Yes.
You can refer Hippo as digital marketing intermediaries because it is distributing insurance products on its digital platforms. Okay. Then we've got channel structures. These describe the way a manufacturer or a selling organization delivers products to its customers. The distribution channel will consist of one or more intermediaries, such as wholesalers and retailers. For example, using a music company is unlikely to distribute its CDs directly to retailers, but will use wholesalers that have a large warehouse of titles that are then distributed to individual branches according to the demand. Lastly, the Canvas business model offers a visual chart with elements describing a firm a firm's or product's value proposition, infrastructure, customers, and finances, assisting businesses to align their activities by illustrating potential trade-offs. Are there any questions or any comments?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. I have a question. My hands has been up.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. My apologies for that.
It's fine, sir.
No,
It's
Nkamo's hand is the one that is up actually, but
it
let's
was
see when it
mine.
happens.
Mine also was up. Okay, so actually my question now is I wanted to go back to the carbon element. I wanted to ask if is it the same as like is it like if you miss one your whole structure is like messed up, or if you miss one you can still balance.
You know,
That makes sense if I say if
yes,
you miss
I
one.
do understand what you mean because there are many elements there. For example, key
Yes, but
activities
I mean,
and engagement.
if you miss to satisfy, or if you miss to meet one
Mm,
element, does it make
mm.
the whole structure like dual? You can't balance anything. It's like dululu dululu.
Yes, surely you can survive, but the survival will be difficult. It's the same thing with someone with what we call disability, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, you can surely survive with one leg. I mean, but it won't be sort of normal if I put it that way. You know, you can surely survive with one eye, but you need both eyes, something like that. So I'll give you an example. Let's go back to the canvas model so that you
Yes, sir.
know what we are talking about here. Let's look at this diagram here. Are we there? Are we all of us there, guys?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay.
Actually, I was even
Please hold
thinking.
on your idea. I don't want you to forget about what you wanted to ask. All right. For example, here, key partners, right? Can you see key partners?
Yes, sir.
So you need to ask yourself, is it really necessary to have key partners? Because yeah, you can operate as a business without key partners to some extent, can be argued, especially if you know what you're doing. Okay. The same thing with cost structure. You know, you can operate with very limited budget, but it is going to affect you one or the other. Remember, we're talking about competition. Remember, if you've got a business, there's also someone who is operating out there. So if you miss one element here or you do not invest in one element, does it give you a sort of a disadvantage in the competition? That's what you need to ask yourself. Customer relationships. We see not all companies are good with customer relationships, by the way. That's why you see most people complaining about ShopRite and people not complaining about Woolies. It means that on the canvas model, they're not investing more in customer relationships than Woolies is doing. The same thing if you look at resources. You know, you push a trolley from ShopRite, you actually see that they're not managing their resources well compared to when you push a trolley at Pick and Pay or at Woolies. You actually see that these trolleys were oiled, you know, and stuff like that. So it depends. I don't know if these examples that I'm giving you might happen to do make sense.
Say they do actually, because I'm looking through it. I'm checking that what I'm saying actually it's like what you're saying you can, but I can't, because at the same time I still need my cost structure, I still
Mm,
need my channels, I still need the value of persuasion, I still need my customer relationship. So I can't use the customer relationship and have other things. It's like
mm,
I still need them. I can see now that it's not the sense of you might lose them, but now
mm.
if I lose one, I'm kind of like a lot is in jeopardy.
Especially when you know that you're in competition one or the other,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes.
know? The same way with Mjolo, you know, you can't be good at everything, honestly. You know, but if you lose one thing, Mpo is going to come and overtake you and share you with a stinner. Because of just one element, you are good at everything, but because of one element, all of a sudden we have seen that happening, right?
Yes, sir, we have.
So same thing with the canvas business model.
Yes, sir.
Do your best, invest in all these elements, you know, then it also gives you a competitive advantage. Are we sorted?
Yes, sir, I'm sorted. It's like I need to be ready to run. I need to have my shoes on.
Yes,
Because if I
yes.
don't have my shoes, someone else
Mm,
will be in front, will be number one, while I'm still wearing my shoes.
that's true.
Okay, sir. Makes sense, sir.
All right, Nkamo.
So now I have two questions. The one that I just developed is this Canvas business model
Mm-hmm,
applies through all three types of business model, whether it's B2C,
mm-hmm,
B2B, or B2G. Ne?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, 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 you've answered the question. Okay.
Yes, it does.
My first question was based on the last slide that you showed us talking about digital marketing intermediaries. It gave me it came a thought
This one.
whereby, yeah, this one. You were talking about how intertwined digital marketing is with intermediaries and all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I
Yes.
was thinking about, with, let's say you have a business, and on that business you do have owned media, earned media, and all the type
And
of
media.
medias.
Yes.
The three types of
Mhm.
media. So wouldn't you say that with owned media is also some form of intermediaries, even though you technically don't own them?
Oh,
Like, for
so,
instance, you want to advertise on Facebook. Of course, you have an account on no, scratch Facebook. You have a Wings account whereby you can do a website and all of that, which you've paid for that subscription, but ultimately you don't own that platform. So doesn't that technically apply as intermediaries as well?
I just want to understand you well. When you are posting on Facebook, are you posting on your page or are you posting on someone's page who's got a huge following?
For instance, your page, I get it's your account, you own that, so
Yes,
it's
yes.
owned
That's your
media.
asset. That's your
But you
digital
know
asset.
that But you know that Facebook can shut down at any time,
Yes.
or something can happen,
Mm-hmm.
or they can take it down due to maybe someone hacking it
Violation
and
of some
saying
policy and some.
something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, in a way, they have a say. Won't they act as intermediaries as well towards your
No,
organization?
they are not an intermediary because they are not distributing on your behalf. They are a platform. Remember, we spoke about the 5Ds. So if I'm doing business on WhatsApp, WhatsApp is a platform. It's not an intermediary. It's just a platform that is enabling me to do business. So there's nothing that WhatsApp is doing other than providing a platform and the features that is enabling me to communicate or to reach my stakeholders. So it is a platform.
But let's say your business is online alone. There's no
Mm.
physical store. It's an e-commerce that has no physical store, and you operate online.
Mhm.
And these are the only platform that you are exposed to
Yes.
supply the demand to the customers, whether it's a product or a service, whatever the case may be. But the fact that they have the control over
Mhm.
your products using their platform. That's the main important thing that makes me question
So
just
you say they've got a control over what? I just want to understand the form of control that you're talking about.
of your data or of your proper intellectual property or whatever the case may be that you have
Mhm.
embedded into their platform.
Yes. So you know that platforms have got their own policies with regards to data and stuff like that, but they do not have direct control. I would have understood if you say that LinkedIn, for example, it is the one that is promoting your products. Like you actually go there, you see a LinkedIn hang saying that buy this from Gamo, you know, that's promoting. That's what intermediaries do. They promote, they sell, and they distribute. But LinkedIn and Co, these are just platforms. You are hosting your services on a platform. You are the one who is actually doing the promotion. You are the one who is actually doing the selling. The same thing with Instagram. You are the one who is posting those pictures. It is not Instagram doing that. Instagram is only enabling you to post pictures. You decide when to post a picture. You decide when to remove it. Instagram can only remove it if it is violating its policies. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But you have the time frame. You even know who to tag. You are the one who decides where to share it, which hashtags to put there, and so on. So it is just a platform.
Noted, sir. Thank you.
Does it make sense, people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Remember, we are helping each other, especially when it comes to social media, because some of you guys are more active on social media platforms, you know. So we are actually helping each other to learn. Yes, doesn't mean that I've got the right answers for you. But for my own understanding, those are platforms. So they are hosting your services, your brand. And if you violate their rules, of course, they are going to have control and they are going to shut out your company the same way Twitter did to Trump. If you are posting racism stuff or inciting violence, you know, stuff like that, of course, they won't allow to host you. Hosting you meaning you having an account there. But how you distribute, how you sell, and how you promote, it is up to you, as you can see here on the screen. Intermediaries, what is it that they do? They promote, they sell, and they distribute. So if platforms can do that, then I would agree that Facebook is also an intermediary. If it promotes, if it sells, and if it distributes. But I don't think it does. It helps you to do this. It
Yeah.
doesn't do this on its own. It helps you. It has got the ability to help you to do that.
And then say we could also, can we also say drop shipping is an intermediary?
Aaron,
Can we say drop shipping is an intermediary?
I didn't hear that word.
Drop shipping.
Job shipping.
Yeah.
Can you explain the concept to me?
Drop shipping is like e-commerce, but you're not the owner of the business. You are just like taking a business's products, and then you connect them to the supply, to the customer.
Is
Drop,
it so?
it's like e-commerce, but you're not part of the business. You're just the middleman. You take
Okay.
the products and then you give them to the customer.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can also be part of that. It's my first time hearing that. That's why I asked you to explain and elaborate it. Okay. But remember, guys, don't be confused between an aggregator and an intermediary. We are going to talk about the aggregators later during the semester, maybe early next semester, but I think it's this semester. You know our Gumtree, Gumtree, right?
Yes.
Those are aggregators, but we're going to discuss that. Mpo, you had your hand up.
No, so I wanted to add to what you were saying in regards to the drop shipping thing. I don't think it's an intermediary because now you are not necessarily selling the product like at hand, unlike retailers, because as a retailer you have what's those, the brand's product, and you deliver it to a customer. And drop shipping isn't that, because with drop shipping you don't have it on hand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more like communication between the customer and the distributor. You're in between them and not necessarily selling for the distributor.
So are you sort of like a negotiator or what?
Yes, of some sort.
Just like brokers.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. Unless if you put it under a communication channel instead of a
Yes.
distribution channel.
I think
Because
it's
an intermediary it's a distribution channel. We
yes.
also have what we call a communication channel. Okay, any questions, guys? Anything else that you'd like to discuss?
No questions from my side.
All right, since we have unpacked the theoretical concept of intermediaries, We have unpacked the theoretical concept of the Canvas business model. In the next lesson, we are going to apply this. So we'll be looking at the application. How do we apply the Canvas model? Because that's where most of your engagement guys were on, like, how do you apply this? Can we like concentrate more on some of the elements and leave out other elements? Is it only applicable to a new business or an existing business? Does it only work with offline businesses or with also online business? Or does it only work with online business but can't work with offline businesses? So we are going to discuss that more when we apply in lesson 22. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
Let's have a 10-minute break. So let's start again at 10 past 12. Don't run away, guys. This is a hot topic. Eh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Yes, sir.
I think load shedding has relaxed. So I don't hear stories about load shedding. All right, cool.
Sir,
Let's
I'm
meet.
having load shedding now.
Matapelo.
Yes, I just had load shedding. Electricity has to come back now at 12.
Prayer warrior. Okay.
Yes, I bought that. I bought data for your class.
All right. Okay. So we just have the benefit of the doubt that you are going to be here,
No,
in 10
I'm gonna be
minutes.
here. Electricity will be back, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
All
sir.
right. Thank you, guys. Let's meet in 10 minutes. Let's meet again in 10 minutes.